Good afternoon and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Oklahoma City Board of Adjustment for November the 2nd, 2017. Before we get started, if you'd turn your cell phones to silent, we'd appreciate it. A couple reminders when you come up. If you're an applicant, when you start out, please give your name and address for the record. And if you'd like to speak on a matter today and you're not an applicant, there are some little slips of paper outside that you're welcome to fill out and hand to Cindy. We want to make sure anybody who wants to be heard on an item has that opportunity. So with that, we'll call the meeting to order, and the first order of business is to receive the minutes from the October 19th, 2017 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a very quiet second. Please cast your votes, please. And the minutes are received.
We have item number 10, case number 14374 is requesting to be deferred to December 7th, 2017.
Make a motion to defer case number 14374 to the December 7th meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to continue case number 14374 to the December 7th, 2017 meeting. Please cast your votes, please. And that application is continued. I think we have one more, don't we? We have a continuance request from
Blaine Nice, 100 North Broadway, for the applicant Armstrong Developments, case number 14416. I'd ask that that be postponed to the December 7th meeting also.
Is there anyone here that was hoping to be heard on that matter today? That's case number 14414, or I'm sorry, 14415, excuse, or no, that's still wrong. 14416. There we go. Third time. Anybody? I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to continue case number 14416 to December 7th.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to continue case number 14416, learn from my first mistake, to December the 7th. Please cast your votes, please. And the application is continued.
We have item number 1, case number 14412, request for a variance to permit a lot without frontage on an approved street in the R1 Single Family Residential District located at 2805 Rear South Harvey Avenue.
Is the applicant present? Yeah. Please come forward and give your name and address for the record.
I got to say my name and the address.
Yes, sir.
My name is Marcos Lara Hernandez. Then the address is 2805 South Harvey Avenue.
Can you tell us about your application?
Well, everything start about what I got. You mean about tell what I need to do or what I want to do on this property? That's what I got to say? Okay. This property is very old building, so what I buy it, pretty much this is a open project for me. I want to update the building and have it for rent. Then how I get in here is I was looking for information for get the numbers, like, because before the way there is look like before it was like on 4 different units. So I've been looking through the company, natural gas company and also electric company, about to get the permits for open the project. And so nobody know about the number because we all know is 2805 and a half, but after that, in order to divide in 4 different units, pretty much I question when I try to get the permits, like how this gonna be, like to get the numbers if I have to do my own address, like 2805 and a half, and after that, don't know how can be, because it's supposed to be 4 units.
Do you own the property,
Yes.
the structure that's a part of this lot to the east, or part of what was the original lot to the east, that affronts South Harvey?
No.
No? So you only own the property that's behind that fronts the alley?
Yes.
Do you know when those two properties were sort of severed or separated?
No, I don't know when, but one thing for sure, it's been a decades because between the properties, it's like a wall, concrete, and it's look like very, very old. Yeah.
But between the structure that you're here for and the structure to the east, there's a wall?
Between the property right in the middle. So between Harvey and between the alley.
Yeah. Do you know when it was built?
I'm sorry?
Do you know when your property was built, when the original building was built?
No,
No? Do you have any idea of when it was built?
no.
It was, the county shows it was built in 1930.
So it's been there a while.
Yes.
Okay.
It's been, I mean, it's looked like the building has been there for a long, long time. But at this moment, it's like not available to live in or anything like that. So it's pretty much my project to fix it.
And you don't have the ability to buy the remaining portion of that lot to the east, right? That's not an option for you.
No.
Okay. Is there anybody else that was hoping to be heard on this application today? Here's what I'll note. As it relates to the statutory requirements for the variance, this is pretty peculiar. You don't own the property to the east, but we do own the one to the west, and it only affronts the alley. You can't get a building permit, right, to fix the property up and to save it if you're not granted the variance. Is that correct?
I be honest, can't understand. I think
You need this variance to get a building permit, correct?
I need permits, yes.
Okay.
Then I don't have any problem at all to get a permits. They already give me a permit. I mean, a permits to get started.
Except for, yeah.
But my problem is, like how I started, is how it's going to be the address for the tenants in the future after I fix it. It's going to be like and a half, A, and B, and C, or how can be that?
I have no idea.
Because before they used to have it, I mean, like I say, if we look on the pictures, it used to be like upstairs, two tenants on upstairs and two on down stairs. Then I just want to rebuild again the same. Then pretty much is where I need to find how I can do the address.
Yeah. We can't help you with the address, but I'm prepared to try and help you with the variance. I certainly support the application. I think the application on its face evidences the satisfaction of the requirements as far as I'm concerned. Unless there's objection or further discussion, I'd take a motion.
I'm going to support your application for the variance, and I'm going to ask you to make sure that you have all the building permits before you begin construction. And if you have questions, you go to the city and make sure before you start construction, make sure that everything is done correctly so that we don't end up back here talking about your property. I'd make a motion to approve the application.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve case number 14412. Please cast your votes, please. And your application is approved. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So that means I can keep going with my project?
You'll need to go back to city staff and talk with them about the next steps for getting your permits and things approved.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is it for me today?
As it relates to this body, yep, for right now, that's it.
Thank you.
Item number 2, case number 14413, request for a variance to the requirement that no more than 40% of a building may be recessed farther than 10 feet back from the street right-of-way into DTD 1 Downtown Transitional District located at 2 Northwest 11th Street.
My name is Todd Edmonds. I'm an architect with HSE Architects. We were approved by the Downtown Design review committee for this variance previously. We're bringing it today to the Board of Adjustments to approve this variance. We had previously been approved for this variance in 2014. However, at the time, it was approved on a temporary basis. We had intended to remove this building and structure once our new arts education facility is completed. But we have not yet started our new building yet, so we would like for this structure to remain. The original intent for this structure was to create identity for the organization, which is Oklahoma Contemporary. So the building was intended to create the identity and also serve as a place where we could use for our capital campaign and to bring potential donors to educate them more about our facility. But as this structure has stayed there for the last 3 years, it has become very, very popular and is a great use to the organization Oklahoma Contemporary. So we are now coming back to you since this variance expires at the end of the year, and we would like to have the variance approved indefinitely for the building to remain on the site until we find a better use for the property. As you can see in some of these photos, it doesn't do it justice, but this is a better photo of the structure, and you can see that it's not only serves as a facility, a building, but it is also a piece of art and a sculpture that we use there on the piece of property. And it has many uses. It's really a hub for many activities. We hold a race there every year, the Midnight Streak. We hold other arts events, and we just use it for a hub for many arts education classes and events. And so we would like to see the structure stay in place. And that's what our request is for today.
I would note that our application reflects that on October 19th, the Downtown Design Review Committee recommended approval of the application. I'd also note that they had a pretty good idea in that conditioning this variance on essentially the limitation that it be limited to the existing building as it's configured today. Are you guys opposed to that?
Absolutely, sure.
So you're open to that as a condition on the?
Sure.
I think given the history of how this came to be, I don't have any problem with the application specifically. I do agree with their request that we limit it to that existing structure because it is contrary to, as you know, the ordinance. So as long as you're open to that, is there other comments or feelings on
I
it?
think they have to get a variance from the requirement within 10 feet of the street right away as well. The conditions stated in the comments, I think, clarify what the board recommended, what the commission recommended, that committee recommended that we conditioned on both that and once it's demolished, or as you said, it cannot be replaced. It's limited to the scope of the current use. It's mainly still a presence, right? Can you hear me?
It's mainly still
It's
what?
still a presence?
Yes, absolutely.
I think the way to say that is just to say that if there's not objection to this, it would just be that if you want to make a motion to approve it, to say that it's just conditioned on the configuration of the existing building not being demolished or changed. Would that be a fair way to craft that? So is there anybody else that wants to be heard on this matter today?
Make a motion to approve the application as conditioned.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve case number 14413, conditioned upon, the variance being conditioned on the existing structure not being demolished or changed. Okay. Please cast your votes, please. And your application is approved.
Right, thank you very much.
Item number 3, case number 14414, request for a variance to the maximum square footage allowed for a monument sign in the C3 Community Commercial District located at 1030 West I-240 Service Road.
My name is Bruce Edwards. I work for Delmark Signs, 4040 South I-35 Service Road, in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 73129. We're here today to see if we could get extra square footage for a used car sign, monument, and it's over the square footage because the sign has a pole cover that is more than 3 feet wide, and we have to add it to the structure square footage of the sign. And the sign is actually only 64 square feet, and the pole cover is 99. And we would just like to get the more square footage because that's a corporation's sign, and they're required to have, and they have one sign that is for the highway, the ID sign for a highway, and they would like to get one put up for the used cars dealership.
Are those pole covers, out of curiosity, are they required? We have a lot of people come and ask for things like architectural metal, for example, other things that deal with branding that the automotive manufacturer puts down on them and requests and kind of requires.
Right.
Is that something that's going on here? Does Honda want to see those pole covers? Are they specifying those?
Well, that's the way that they want them, I guess, not to see the poles, correct, probably.
But is that the way Eskridge wants them, or is that the way Honda wants them?
Honda, the corporation.
Okay. Interesting. Anything else we should know?
I guess that's it.
Is there anybody else that wants to be heard on this matter today? I would note that we received a letter of opposition to it, which was included in our packet. I guess my take on this is we don't want the sign would be allowed under the existing ordinance and how they're zoned, but for these pole covers. And we don't want pole signs, but we are going to count pole covers as a part of the square footage. And to me, that seems a little, that seems like it kind of contradicts itself. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with the application the way that it is. I think my only concern would be limiting that and just basically specifying that no signage would be allowed on those pole covers as a condition of my support. So,
Correct. Yeah, they wouldn't. They probably won't. You know, I mean, it's because of the. I don't know what it's for.
yeah.
Has he seen the letter of protest at all or want to respond to it?
Were you aware of that?
Yes, I
Sure,
was.
yeah.
I don't think there's any visibility. I don't understand the visibility argument in the protest, although the protest isn't here from the location. I can't see how that affects the visibility to the protestants' property.
Yeah, I wish they were
Do you
here
have a
to.
response on that?
Yep.
Well, it does set back off of the road on a curve, and then the property that they're talking about is like 2 properties away from being able to see their business. I don't see it blocking any other businesses. It's right there in the center of their property, Eskridge's.
Board members, other comments, motions?
Make a motion to approve the application.
Second.
Without condition or with condition? Out of curiosity.
What would the condition be?
Well, I want to be careful because by approving it, we're allowing a square footage that exceeds the code, what the code would allow for. But the only reason that they're seeking that is because the pole covers are being declared a part of the sign face or the signage. So the condition would just be that so long as those pole covers don't display advertising, it's to limit it to exclude that. I mean, is that?
That's fair enough.
Are you
I would
agreeable to
modify
that
my
friendly?
motion then to approve the application, but your pole covers contain no verbiage,
Yes.
no signing.
Yes, that'd be great.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve case number 14414, subject to the condition that the pole covers not display signage. Please cast your votes, please. Your application is approved.
Thank you.
Item number 4, case number 14415, request for a variance to permit a building with exposed metal walls in the R1 Single Family Residential District located at 1800 Northwest 122nd Street.
Good afternoon, Jeff Latch, Heritage Hall, 1800 Northwest 122nd Street. We're looking for, this has somewhat been modified now at this point in time, is that we're just looking now for a time frame for the variance. We will be complying with putting up brick around this metal structure because of the movement that we were required to do with the fire marshal. Originally, it was going to be tucked behind some buildings and behind a cliff, that it wouldn't have been seen by anybody. But now with it being having to move to the front of the school, it's still not being viewed by the public, but it's by our patrons, and we would like to make sure that it blends in with the rest of our buildings as well. And so that we're in the process right now of actually obtaining some bids on getting the brick, and then obtaining that brick. So we're looking for at least a year variance on this, but we're hoping to get this done over the next 6 months or so.
You'd like a year variance? The application says 2.
Two's fine.
2's fine. So to be sure I'm clear, we've got growth in the school that's required you guys to bring these buildings in. You're having to bring them in to meet some other requirements, right? You mentioned the fire marshal?
Correct.
Okay, and because you're putting these up so quickly, you just need temporary relief from that metal facade prohibition.
Yeah. And then originally we were going to have the building tucked behind some other buildings so it really wouldn't have been seen and visible, but now it's going to be more visible in the front of our lower school, and so we just would like to make sure that it blends in with our school structure as well. And so we're just looking for that time frame now for the variance. So we'll comply with the coding, because I think the coding is basically we just can't have a metal structure. But if we brick it, then we would be within the variance code, I believe. So now we're just looking for a time frame now to make sure we can get that completed.
Okay. Is there anybody else that wants to be heard on this matter today? Board members?
Make a motion to approve the application for a period not to exceed 24 months.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve case number 14415. Please cast your votes, please. Your application is approved.
Thank you.
Item number 6, case number 14417, request for a variance to the required number of parking spaces, parking and maneuvering on street right-of-way, and canopy not meeting the front and side yard setback in the C4 General Commercial District located at 1708, 1712, 1720 Northeast 23rd Street.
Good afternoon, Tim Johnson with Johnson & Associates, 1 East California, Suite 200, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The application that's before you is a renovation of 2 existing buildings that have been not used for a number of years. It's a project that's been taken on by the Pivot Group, which Candace is here on behalf of the Pivot Group. And if you've been reading the paper, there's been some discussion about this project. It received some TIF money for the renovation work as well as the improvements of the infrastructure. So what we're trying to do is activate what used to be activated here, and in order to do that, we have to bring it up to current codes. So historically, you can see all the hard surface around this. This used to be a service station and a garage many, many years ago. And so the parking was right off of 23rd and right off of Rhode Island. In order to have that work, there's several steps that we have to go through. This is one of them, to get the variance for the right-of-way use, which is really limited to these 2 blue areas here and here. I'm sorry, not the blue areas, the 2 yellow areas. So that the maneuvering would be in the street for the parking. This piece up here just has about 3 feet of paving that is in the right-of-way. So that's where that's required. We still have to go to Traffic Commission, of course, and get approval on that, but this is bringing it in conformance and getting it permitted. The second thing that we're asking for is the canopies, the blue lines, and you can see on the rendering, the proposed canopies, actually, the buildings are built right on the building limit line, and so the canopies extend into the building setback. The other thing I didn't mention is we've made an application for a PUD for these 2 tracts of land, and they'll address all these things as well. So we're asking for really temporary relief in these conditions. And the last request we have is for the parking We've got a rezoning case in that will include both of these properties. You can see there's parking proposed, where historically there was just on-street parking for these two structures. This is going to be a medical clinic and more office-related, and this will be more commercial-related. So currently, we only have like 40 spaces, and we need 75 for the first building. All of those spaces will be made up when these two tracts of land work together as one, and will exceed the parking requirement at that time. So that's set to be heard in December, and so the reason we're here, it was quicker to get here to allow the construction renovation to continue going forward.
These variances are needed just to allow construction to proceed?
Yes.
I guess construction isn't starting on the lots in the back you've acquired, which I'm assuming is the subject of your rezoning application?
Correct.
So, okay, that makes sense to me. So all of the variances you're requesting today are temporary?
Yes, they'll be resolved in the SPUD.
Okay. Time frame?
As far as the,
how do you want us to set that conditional variance?
well, construction is moving forward because there's a drop-dead date to get the tenant in. That's what's driven this. The anticipation is that the PUD be approved and finalized through council sometime in January. The parking lots can be completed. So I think if you want to condition it to a year, we should be well done within a year.
Okay. Board members, comments, questions?
Make a motion to approve the application for a period not to exceed 12 months.
Just to be certain, no one else is here to be heard on this matter today? Okay.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve case number 14417, conditioned on a time period not to exceed 24 months. 12 months? 12 months. 12 months. Please cast your votes. And your application is approved.
Item number 7, case number 14418, application for special exception to allow a mobile home to serve as a temporary second dwelling to relieve a medical hardship in the R1 Single Family Residential District located at 9810 North Post Road.
Please give your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Powell Mannion. Currently I live at 14701 Joseph Drive in Luther, Oklahoma. We're looking to relocate over next to my daughter so she can help take care of my wife.
Okay. And my understanding is that you intend to construct an additional structure on this property.
Yes.
This is just in kind of that interim period you need this. Do you have a time frame? Because these can be granted for 12, 24, 36 months. Do you have a requested time frame for this variance?
For how long I want to be there?
Well, for how long you're going to have the mobile home serving as a temporary second dwelling?
Probably 36 months.
36 months, okay. I'd note that the staff report reflects that there's been adequate documentation provided by the applicant to substantiate the medical hardship.
Make a motion to approve the application for a time limit not to exceed 36 months.
No one else needs to be heard on this matter today or wishes to be heard on this matter today?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve case number 14418 for a period not to exceed 3 years. Please cast your votes, please. Your application is approved.
Thank you.
Item number 8, case number 14419, request for a variance to permit a building with exposed metal walls in the C3 Community Commercial District located at 14900 South Western Avenue.
Hello, I'm Steve Marley. I'm with Aztec Building Systems, and I'm representing 49 West LLC. We designed, applied, or permitted and constructed about 70% of this project. And a clarification on metals. There's a picture. On metals came up, architectural metals versus what I understand would be metal building metals. We have a combination of masonry, ephes and a soffit panel that's that's an aluminum wood grain panel, and these horizontal architectural metals on the project. And we're here to seek approval. So I do have that if you...
I think the application references, but you actually applied and received a building permit
Yes.
for this. And that permit obviously included these building materials, is that?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Okay. Board members?
Make a motion to approve the application.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve case number 14419. Please cast your votes, please. And the application is approved.
All right, thank you.
Item number 9, case number 14421, request for a variance to the 5-foot side yard setback in the R1 Single Family Residential District located at 3417 Prairie Grass Road.
Hello, I'm Jason Monahan, and 3417 Prairie Grass Road is my property. Basically requesting the variance for the existing structure to be enclosed into a garage. The post has been there, and the structure, the roof line has been there for a little over 20 years, roughly 1996 was when it was permitted and constructed. So that's basically it. We're just trying to enclose it to better secure property.
Have you talked to your neighbors about this?
Yes.
We don't have any letters of opposition, I guess.
Everybody was pretty on board with it. I've put a lot of work into the property, a lot of money, and made it look a lot better, both interior and exterior. So, yeah, everybody's on board with this as far as they have verbalized that to me.
Board members?
Make a motion to approve the application.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve case number 14421. Please cast your votes, please. And your application is approved.
Thank you.
That's it, right?
Oh, what are you going to say?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I didn't even get to ask Laura. She had a report. Laura probably had a report. She had a lengthy report. There's a lengthy report here. Motion and a second to adjourn. Cast your votes. We are adjourned.